I want to give my little guy the ability to actually do something. For the last 6 months, he's been in a tough staring contest with another orc, and I think the orc is starting to get the edge up on him. Now, I know what you're thinking. Daniel, why spend all this time actually adding features when you can just mask it up by adding in a bunch of stuff to make the game look better? And that way, you can clickbait on YouTube, get more views, and get paid to do less.
Anyways, we're going to be putting combat on hold for a minute and are going to be transforming this little garbage world into something that looks, slightly better.
Alright, so here's the plan. Alright.
In order to take our game and turn it in from this to that, we're going to need some better lighting, a better skybox, probably dynamic weather, create an atmosphere, a lot of textures, and...
Wait, hold on.
And I already could smell the kids that have read their entire high school Java textbooks going like, if you don't do it yourself, you're not a real programmer. Shut up, dude. Like, just leave. Like, I'm gonna just... Done. And I think all we gotta do is press setup scene and... Okay, dang, that changed a lot. Like, in a good way, too. Dang. I mean, I totally knew that. That was all planned.
Alright, now that we got the whole lighting and the atmosphere settings all fixed up and looking pretty, it's reminding me about the girls back in high school. Once you remove all that makeup and that extra fluff, they go straight from a 10 to a 2. So we gotta fix the environment.
So you might be thinking that it would be smart to create some better textures, add some extra normal maps, carefully plan out an environment.
But that's for nerds. Why am I on the floor? Let's get back to development.
We're gonna just cut a huge hole into the side of this mountain, shove a bunch of random prefabs into this hole, and call it a day.
But you guys thought I forgot. About all those hate comments you guys left on that video saying, I don't know what I'm doing, I just buy assets, it's just pay to win. Well, now, you guys are gonna have to watch as I learned what shaders are. You know why? Well, it's because I don't want to start on combat and I'm procrastinating, so let's just get right into it.
First things first, what is a shader? In computer graphics, a shader is a computer program that calculates the appropriate levels of light. Yeah, we're gonna do that. But I think the best way to dip our toes into shaders would be a nice little liquid shader. See what I did there? But how hard could it really be? All it really needs is a nice little wobble shader, maybe some translucency so you can see through it, and that's really it. It can't be that hard, can it? Yes, it actually can be that hard.
3 days later, and now whenever this little capsule shakes, it waddles. Now it's not perfect, but I think it's gonna work for our first shader. And I kind of liked it. Shader's kind of fun.
The actual shader wasn't too hard because basically right here handles how high and low we want the shader to go up. This handles the wobble effect, and then we just combine both of them and we kind of get the liquid shader. And of course I did this with absolutely no help of you. Wait, get that off.
Okay, for real though, we probably should start on the
No. Tornado shader go.
Okay, no. No more shaders. Let's actually get our guy to do something. Now, you may be asking yourself, Daniel, how in the world are you going to create a better combat system than all these AAA games? Espionage. So let's say I do want to commit a heinous amount of industrial espionage and go to jail for the next 15 years of my life. Where do I even begin? Well, you're in luck because welcome to How to Commit Industrial Espionage 101. This video is about to be taken down for illegal activity.
Step 1, get the intelligence. Step 2, realize you aren't a good programmer. Like, what's even going on? Why?
So, slight issue. Apparently, motion matching doesn't do absolutely everything for you, and you actually gotta do stuff yourself, which is news to me. Basically, we're gonna need to figure out a way to find out when the end of an attack animation happens. That way we can tell our combat system, hey, you can move on to the next combo. Okay, so using my monkey brain, I think I figured out the most mind-numbing, easy, simplest solution I possibly could have. So basically, in the animation data, we can set events that basically trigger at a certain point in the animation. So all we gotta do is tell the combat system we don't want any inputs until the very end of the animation, and then bada bing, bada boom, we got it all done. Should be that easy. Now that the player can actually attack, it's probably smart to implement a damage system. But are we smart? No, absolutely not. We're actually just gonna go make some shaders to make combat look cool. So you might ask yourself, what's wrong with these weapon swings? Well, if you look at it, there's no reference on how fast or how strong the weapon is, and we want to give the sword the illusion that it actually has weight and speed. So what's the easiest way of doing that? It's by giving it a trail. Now what we're gonna do is pretty simple. We're gonna create a simple distortion shader that basically acts like a, well, distortion, but we're gonna apply this to a particle system, give it some colors, and look at that. Minimum work, huge reward for the monkey brain. Okay, but it doesn't matter how cool the weapon looks when it's swinging if it, doesn't do anything. So the next step is actually take a step back and make it so that the weapon can actually do damage to entities. So in order to get the sword to deal damage, we first need to know when the sword collides with another object. Now, being the good team leader I am, I'm gonna offload this to Dennis because this seems boring. So while we wait for the collision system to be all ready to go, I'm going to start on the basis for the health system. So here's what I was thinking. For most of the generic props and objects, like let's say this rock or this wall right here, we can just destroy it whenever its health reaches 0. But for humanoid characters, kind of like this player or this orc, I kind of want them to be, a little floppy after they die because adding ragdolls is always fun. Starting with the basic health system and just destroying them after their health reaches 0 was pretty easy since, I've made like 5 different versions of this exact same system for the 5 times I restarted this project. So now the sword can deal damage to this giant white box. Okay, but now for the ragdoll system, which shouldn't be too hard. Shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully I don't eat my words. Oh, but I will. Because I actually spent like 2-3 weeks working on a system a year ago to make this exact system work. So all we gotta do is implement it into this project. I'm gonna die, aren't I? So 2 days later, I have rewritten most of the ragdoll system, which I guess it was harder than I thought it would be, but I also ended up adding a bunch of game juice. Like whenever the player hits the orc, there's a hit effect, animation freeze frames, there's a KO effect, and like a bunch of other things just to make the combat feel, juicy. But with that all being said, I think it's time to get someone to test it. Hey buddy! Hey, you're back from college! Come test my combat system. Come on. Yeah,
I thought it was done already.
Shut up. You gotta press the play button. Hey, stop. Just stop. Isn't that just fantastic? Because you're
Dude, this circle.
It's not done yet.
Why can't I hit backward?
Hey, hold this real quick. Hold this real quick. Here. Shut. Alright, say what I said.
Windshire has the best combat system I have ever played.